Hello, fellow translators. Today I want to talk to you about this thing's not very steady. Anyway, today I wanted to talk to you about something that came up. So, actually, this came up when I was at the Carolina Association of Translators and Interpreters conference a few months ago. I did a video about the conference itself, but it's something that came up in one of the issues. Well, mainly the one that talked about CAT tools, and that was about the type of computer to use. And I wanted to talk about this because it's been in the back of my mind for various reasons, and it has to do with what computer you use when you're performing translations. I have a Mac, and that's what I use. I've been using it for years, since I don't know, a long, long time anyway. I haven't had a PC in a long time. But I have to say that if you right now are wondering which computer to use, a PC or a Mac, and you're a translator, that I might actually recommend going with PC. And now this is I'm just going to talk about in terms of translators and things you have to do it. And for all the other stuff, there are plenty of other videos that talk about the benefits and good points and bad points, advantages, disadvantages of having a Mac or a PC, and so you can look those up. But in terms of a translator, there are a couple things you need to keep in mind. Now, first of all, and the foremost, the one that comes to mind for most things is CAT tools. CAT tools, unfortunately, with a Mac are very scarce, and most CAT tools now say that they are Mac compatible, and very often it's a lie. I know Trados now says that it's Mac compatible, but the thing is, during this conference, we were talking about it with other Mac users, and they said they have many issues with Trados working on a Mac, and that they have a Mac version, but it's not even worth getting because it rarely works. There are issues of compatibility, and it can only do a fraction of what the PC compatible Trados can do. I used, and as you know, I right now don't use any CAT tools, and I have other videos where I explain why that is. So it isn't affecting me as much right now, but I saw how it affected other people. I still use very rarely, actually now I haven't used in a while, Omega T, which is a free version, which also spits out files that are Trados compatible. But one lady who was there was saying that actually you can do a lot more even with Omega T if you have a PC compatible computer than with Mac, and it had to do with basically importing whole files and stuff like that rather than text and stuff like that. I don't know the details because I can't compare the two. Unfortunately, I only work with Mac. But I do know that almost every time I try a different CAT tool, I've had issues. I know there's some CAT tools that are specifically targeted towards Mac. I can't really speak too much as to them. As I said, right now I don't use any CAT tools. But if CAT tools are something you want to use in the future, then you might want to think about a PC. Just because, yeah, it can be an issue and a half, especially if you have a client who wants CAT tools and wants you to use CAT tools, and you have to say, I have a Mac, it doesn't work, and they'll say, oh, but it's Mac compatible, and you have to be like, actually, it's not really, and it's just a pain. One. Two is most documents are going to be in Word. Now, I know some users of Mac who use OpenOffice and other variations, other versions of things, so they don't have to get Microsoft Word. But quite frankly, there are always issues with stuff like that. And, so at some point, what I did is I just got Microsoft Office for Mac. It works quite well. But there are a few caveats. First of all, you have to get it, so you have to pay extra. Whatever you're paying for the Mac, you're going to have to pay for the Microsoft Office. I don't remember what the price is now, but it's whatever it is, a few $100s and something. So it's not too much, but it's still something. Still cheaper than a lot of CAT tools, but anyway. And so I recommend getting that, you pretty much have to get that because pretty much everything you're going to be working on is going to be Microsoft Word. That's the basic standard. Even if they give you a PDF file, they're going to want you to give them a Microsoft Word file back, and you're going to have to figure that out, and so you're going to use Microsoft Word. Now, the issue, however, that I still have with a Mac is that very often, especially with Microsoft Word, if you have images, if you have any sort of layout stuff that's going on, anything like that, it can be very different on a PC. And I've had this happen a number of times where I send it off to the client, and the client is like, I can't read anything, what the hell's going on, blah, blah, blah. And it's because on a Mac, it was very different from what it was on a PC. So that can be an issue as well. And so in that regard, Microsoft Word is made for PCs, honestly, and it works fine for me. I can do all the stuff I want to do. I published my book on Microsoft Word on Mac and all that. That's fine. But in terms of compatibility, there are still issues back and forth, and so you should keep that in mind. And that's the thing that unfortunately I have a Mac. I'm probably going to still keep using a Mac because I'm used to these issues and I deal with them still. But if someone came up to me and asked, oh, should I get a Mac or a PC as a translator, I'd probably recommend PC just because I think it makes life a lot easier, a lot more smooth when you're first starting out. You don't have to worry about all these issues of compatibility, about layout, about stuff like that. So I would highly recommend doing something like that. If you do have a Mac, keep that in mind for the CAT tools and get Microsoft Office because you're going to waste so much time if you use one of those free template things and the layouts are off or they can't do this or can't do that or whatever. And unfortunately, you're going to lose out on business as well. I had a translator that I was working with who did not have, she didn't have Microsoft Word. She had something else. And after several times sending the file back and forth, I was like, forget it, and I paid her for that thing, but I can't work with her anymore because I can't have that back and forth for layout every time I have a Microsoft Word document. So it's just something to keep in mind. Anyway, those are the main things. There's some other issues that I won't get into, but I just wanted you to keep these things in mind if you're wondering about a PC or Mac. And feel free to let me know, especially those of you who use PCs. Feel free to let me know of any issues that you've seen or maybe not seen, or actually, especially you who've used both, maybe, and you would have a better idea at a comparison, much more than I do. I only have these because I've seen them when talking to other people or when dealing with clients that have other configurations. By the way, most clients you deal with, pretty much any client you'll deal with will have a PC. That's because PCs have been very good at selling into offices. And, usually chances are you're going to be dealing with an office, whether it's an end client or a translation agency or whatever it might be. They're going to be a corporation, an office, so they're going to be using PCs. And so you do have to worry about compatibility. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you find this useful if you're shopping between the two and trying to figure out between the two. And I'll talk to you next time. But this is really unstable. Okay, thanks. Bye. Savedum.